Hi, good evening and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast. This is episode 47, and I'm delighted to say this podcast is actually sponsored by Tratec Consulting. So any of your computer wants and needs, get hold of Matt Rose at Tratec Consulting, and he will sort you all out with anything you need. Right, let's introductions. Tom, Simon, how are you? We'll start with
Uh,
Tom first.
I've probably felt better, but then I've
How was
also
your
had
weekend, Tom? Not that, not this is for the audience purposes.
fun.
We
We'll,
already know how your weekend was.
we'll call it fun. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I enjoyed CJ's game and the player awards a lot. And then yeah, getting home and having a nice tea and getting to bed early. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of fun. What about you, Simon?
Yeah. Home early with a cup of cocoa, mate. That's just like you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Simon was sober. Simon wasn't
yeah,
drinking
I
on
was
Saturday.
driving. I thought I missed CJ's game because I decided I had a ticket for the Bracknell match, so I went to watch that. And in order to get to the game, get to the awards night on time, I missed 4 goals at the end. So yeah, I've applied to Bracknell for a refund on the ticket, but they haven't got back to me yet. So I'm hoping they might come good.
Yeah.
As I
I think
missed the majority of the action. There we are.
yeah, I think you might be a bit unlucky with that one, Simon.
Yeah, they'll say all that is the personal choice, etc. But I know a few good lawyers in my job. I might be able to get somewhere. So yeah, we shall see. Yeah, we should have those. Yeah, we are as Alan mentioned in the start. We are sponsored by Tritech Consultants, who are the club sponsors, as you may have already guessed. And Matt's very kindly stepped up and has agreed to sponsor us for next season going forward, which is really
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
obviously that means we have to be more professional than we have been up to now. So we'll do our best. No
We'll
promises.
try. We'll try.
We will try.
No promises. Yeah, we got a good episode this evening with some extra special people. So I shall let Alan
Yes.
introduce those.
Yeah, so tonight we are joined by the Farnborough first team manager at Craig
Yep.
Shields. Good evening.
Evening, just a women's first team manager. Let's just
Okay.
clarify
Yeah,
that.
Spencer's out of a job. Yeah.
I think he's all right.
Yeah, I forgot to add. Yeah, I forgot to add in the women's manager. Yeah, yeah, the Farnborough women's manager. Sorry,
What
and
was that
we're
about being
also
more
joined by.
professional?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
It
It
started off
starts on
well.
the next episode. Starts on the next
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah, it's from next season, and technically we're not in that yet, so that's all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
We got a few months of being completely preposterous and unprofessional through the summertime.
yeah.
Yeah, in the sunshine, hopefully. Yeah.
But we're also joined by Craig's assistant and goalkeeping coach, Mark Appleby. Good evening, Mark.
Hello, evening all.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are yourselves?
Yeah, good, good.
Good.
Have you had a good weekend?
Um, yeah, I had better ones. Came out of retirement on Sunday and it didn't go well. So yeah, well,
Oh no.
enough said.
yeah.
I think Craig yesterday. Craig did mention a little bit about your exploits in the in between the sticks.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a few times. That was a long time ago, though. I just kind of stay in goal now nowadays.
Right. So what we'll do is we'll start off with you, Mark, because obviously we've had Craig
Yeah.
on before, in the previous episode. So a lot of the people that listen to us and watch us on YouTube now, they obviously they know about Craig a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to find a little bit more about you. So if you could give us a little
Hmm.
sort of insight into your past and how you know Craig and how you came to become a member of the team and the women's team.
Yeah, sure thing. So, I guess to start with, um, I've known Craig for quite a long time now. I think I moved here in year 10 at school, and me and Craig had a couple of classes, and then actually, I think our football career path probably started then because we decided to create a football team for our friends.
Yep.
So we were co-founders, I guess, of a football team. Deep Cut United, the mighty Deep Cut. I think we managed to win 10 games in 2 seasons. Maybe Maybe not
Wasn't
even that. Yeah. But that was was pretty fun. So I've known Craig a long time, and I guess for me, kind of the way I got into the women's football is approached my time as a player, so decided to retire. And I think as soon as I told Craig that I retired from football, he asked me to come and help him coach at Rushmore, and then just stayed there really ever since, and just kind of gone to give him some help and assistance where I can, and give him some challenges so that he's not having a smooth ride as well as just the players.
And obviously, and you came to Farnborough when he joined, did you?
Yeah. So pretty much, I would say a few weeks after, I think Craig asked me if he thinks he should do it, and I said absolutely. And then I think I came to the next meeting, which happened to be a Farnborough football game, so that was fine. And then just kind of went from there really, and then was involved from pretty much the start. So,
and how have you enjoyed it so far?
It's been really good. I would say that I've played football a long time, and I've played at a fairly good level. In fact, I was for Neil Baker's first management career in Fleet Spurs, so I have a link with Neil there. But I'd say that the club here is run superbly. Like, everyone is invested in the women's game as much as as the men's side. Like, the chairman's pretty much there every game. Tells us what we need to do. And in terms of like the team are a really, really good close unit team, and everything's kind of, I would say, been fairly comfortable. There's obviously been discussions that we've had, but I would say it's nothing to do with the team. It's more to do with how we want to run stuff. So it's been really good. It's been really smooth, and it's not a bad place to turn up every weekend to watch a football game. So,
no, I can say that me and Simon have been to quite a few games of you guys now, and we do enjoy it. We do. It is a good watch, and it's really, and it can be really sort of entertaining football.
No, definitely. I think the team have really gelled together. I think it's quite funny. So obviously, I think me and Craig and a couple of the other coaches were talking about this season before, and where we started from. I still remember the first game at Alton when, like, I think we won it 3-2, and it was like absolute chaos. But now I look at that team, and they just seem so unified together, and everything's, there's a game plan, and everyone knows the game plan. And if we were to say concede early or go down, nothing changes. Where I think before, we were like, when we were first at the start, where we were still gelling, you could see some cracks. But I think now everything's actually going in a real good way, and I think hopefully the only way goes now is up. So
that's something I've noticed actually when we've been watching the games. It's quite apparent that when things are not sort of maybe going so well, like you maybe dominating. There's a couple of games I've seen you sort of dominating possession and attacking chances, and you're more prevalent on the ball and creating things, and maybe you haven't scored the goals, but everybody just keeps plugging away, and that's really good attribute to have. They're not the heads don't go down if people are getting frustrated by shooting from miles out. All of a sudden, it's kind of like the ethos is still the same. You're still sort of getting the ball down, trying to play, getting the ball wide to sort of Ellie, Louise, and Esme up top, and trying to play in the right way. So I've noticed that's quite a good attribute. And I think you got to pat yourselves on the back for that, having sort of that obviously comes from the training ground, a lot of it as well. So
yeah, I think so. I think we've done really well now. Obviously, I can't say much about the outfield stuff because I mostly deal with goalkeepers, but I also like to say that I think in the last 4 games we've had 3 clean sheets, so I'll take that credit.
Yeah. So someone else might as well.
Yeah, I think I would. She wouldn't be very happy with me if I didn't mention it, but I think we do have to talk about Jade Nightingale as well for the last 3 games. Yeah, I'm on a promise for a few photos here. So if she would like to have a nice word about her. So she's had a good season, obviously on the pitch as well. But the last few games, Craig, is she's done really well, keeping clean sheets, do you know what I mean? And keeping, obviously, I said
Keeping the ball
keeping
out the
goals
net.
out and pushing the team forward. It's been really good for her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been. I mean, I think we are. I think it's 6 clean sheets out of the last 8 games.
Yeah,
It was a complete transformation from where we were for, I'd say, in like 2023, and then just at the turn of the year, just something just seems to have clicked. Like as we've
mm,
gone through January, February. But Jade in particular, like fair play, bless her. Like obviously we had a bit of an issue with Morgan and Maisie's availability, and Morgan had a bit of a knock, and we're sort of looking at this cup final as well. We're like, okay, well, Morgs, we absolutely need her for the cup final, and Jade, to be fair to her, has absolutely stepped up, and like she's a half decent keeper anyway. Like I've seen her before. She has played in
yeah,
goal for me before at Rushmore when we needed her. But yeah, no, her attitude has been absolutely spot on to everything, and I'm sure behind the scenes she's probably like, oh, I don't really want to go and goal, but like to us,
yeah,
like she's been,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
was
yeah,
giving her the
yeah.
training needed. So yeah, no,
And that's
she
what you
stepped
need
up.
from players, don't you? You need that commitment to play wherever they're asked to play, and you
Mm.
get those are the good players that you need on your side that are willing to do
Yeah,
anything, go anywhere, play anywhere.
I mean, we've let's give you a bit of insight, I guess, but kind of we've had a really small first team squad this season, and it's
Yeah,
been by design. Like I always think, and I said to some of the players, like if you're on a team, you ideally want 16 fully fit players that never get
yeah,
injured and have got the right
yeah,
attitude. Um, we've got most of the way. I think we've been quite lucky with injuries this season. We've obviously had a couple of notable long term ones, but in general,
mm,
we've been quite good. But the other thing on top of that is I've said to some of the players who have come in and like, I'm a left winger. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that's fine. You can play left wing, but I need you to understand if I need to play you in a 10 or up front or on right wing, how you do
yeah,
that, how you adapt, how you change, how you
yeah,
move. Um, I think, Ellie's a good example because we've had to change the formation for some of the games. And naturally, she's out wide.
yeah,
But we've had to develop her in particular a little bit to play in a as a 10,
yeah,
which is something that initially she was not comfortable with, because most players have that line on the side and they feel comfortable there because they know the stuff
yeah,
behind them. But you play in the
yeah,
middle, you've got to have that vision and that
yeah,
360 idea of what's going on. So, and she's developed her game to the point where if we need to go to a 3-5-2 where we've got different wing backs that she can play there, and there's others as well who have developed to play one or two positions so that we can be more fluid, and that's been by design. And
yeah.
that's probably part of the reason it took us probably 3-4 months to really click and gel. But we're at that point now and still developing.
Certainly, it'll develop the players as well. I know all the girls take on board all the learnings, and they're always really keen to sort of learn and develop. And that's one thing I've also noticed about when we've just done interviews and watching the games. It's kind of it's very apparent that everyone wants to learn and improve, and obviously playing different positions as well, rather than somewhere where you're comfortable every week is a good learning experience for people. Swapping wings, and as you say, Eddie playing as a 10. I noticed it last game when we made some subs. You played more in the middle for that game. So yeah, I think it's a good thing, and then I think all the girls take on board the learning experience it will give them as players, and
Yeah,
maybe doing the defensive side of the game rather than just going forward all the time.
yeah, it's been interesting from like a coaching point of view. Like when you're trying to get players to like change and do different positions. Like I'll give you like a small example, but like in training a few weeks ago. So normally if you train, many of the exercise sizes you'll do like a square or a rectangle, whatever, because it's like that's what you play on, or you don't really think about it. But I said to the girls before, I was like, "What's your favorite shape?" And then they just went through all this random nonsense. And then hexagon won out. So I was like, "Okay, we're going to train in a hexagon." And for the first 10, 15 minutes, the amount of them that just went outside the hexagon just because the sides were different
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever,
Mm,
it was actually quite crazy.
mm.
And then I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, you're not realizing where you are and where your awareness is. And then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, this is not right. And then they start checking, then they start understanding. So it's little changes like that in training that have helped. But I do like to mess with them sometimes in training.
Yeah, but that sort of thing's good though, because it kind of it teaches you to. I was always taught, sort of probably too late in my footballing career, that when before you receive the ball, you should have your head up and look where you want to go, or look what's around you. So it's good for spatial awareness and finding out what's around. And then when you actually receive the ball, then you can kind of either see a pass or know where you want to turn, or know where your defender is before you receive it. So that all helps in game situations.
Yeah, I would say before you go on to the next question, I feel like Mark has massively undersold himself in terms of the outfield stuff. Like he is like so incredibly intelligent and influential to like what we do and how we play and kind of just everything really. So I know he's obviously incredible goalkeeper when he played, really good goalkeeper coach, but don't undersell yourself, mate. I'm actually for once going to give you praise, but
Oh, he's
you do know
embarrassed
what
now.
you're
Look at him.
talking
He's all
about.
embarrassed.
I know.
He's
Got
gone all,
him.
he's gone all
Hey,
red. He's gone all red.
That's the
If you're
first.
watching on
That's the
YouTube, if you're
first
watching
time
on
you said
YouTube, you
something
can
good for
see.
me. I'm gonna tear up. I'm gonna tear up for that.
Yeah, I was
I
going to
like
ask
to
you,
be
Mark.
in the shadows.
I was going to ask you though. You obviously said about the goalkeeping. I was actually going to ask before Craig said that. Is there any other areas you get involved in? But by the sounds of it, you get involved in of everything really. I'm assuming the role sort of an assistant manager type coach role, but goalkeeper coach stuff. But you get involved in every other area, I should imagine as well.
Yeah, well, I try and help out. I guess for me, I kind of try and help out with sort of the passing side of it and touch side and stuff like that. Because obviously, I mean, I went through it through my career. Like, I started as a 17-year-old where the only thing I did was pick a ball up and kick it. And then as I grow older, the game adapted where you had to actually be a football player in goal. So I had to do a lot more kind of stuff with the ball. So I try and help and give assistance on how to take good touch and stuff where I can. And we did like a passing drill, for example, last week, and I joined in to kind of do a little bit with the girls. But yeah, no, I like to I say it to the team and to Craig all the time. I like to be the guy in the background and just tell Craig what I think needs to change every now and then. And
Yeah.
if I get up to talk to him, it means I've got something I hope that's important to say.
You can answer that one, Craig.
Yeah, no, always. I think the reason why like me and Mark have always worked quite well is just because he doesn't really care what I think. He will tell me what he thinks, and if he thinks I'm doing something wrong, he will just be like, "No, that's wrong," or
Yeah.
something like that. And he's always honest and stuff like that. And I think we're just at the point where like even if I maybe think slightly differently, like he'll accept it, or like if like we accept each other like very much so in terms of opinions and stuff like that. And so we work really well and bounce off each other. And I always say like if he's not around for matches or something like that, like, I feel like I'm slightly incomplete, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because we just work so well together.
Yeah, you kind of work well as a team, and you kind of as a man, as any man, any decent manager, any not just a manager, any person worth their salt will know that they need maybe more one or two opinions, not just their own each time, because you kind of
Yeah.
then you maybe look at things in a different way. They actually maybe I didn't think about that actually. You know what I mean? It does, and then you can gather your thoughts and then make the judgment decision after you've sort of surveyed everything. You know what I mean? It's kind of that process, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember one match in particular. Actually, it was early on in the season. I think it was actually the first round of the Hampshire Cup. Actually, we were playing Gosport Falcons, and I went up to Lewis with an idea, and I just went, Lewis, what do you think about this? And I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something like changing the midfield or something. He just looked at me and went, no, and that was it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I think he actually apologized for it, but it was it was good. So no, he's another one who's good as well.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
think
it's
that's what
needed, though,
that's.
isn't it? It is needed
I think.
sometimes.
I
Yeah,
think
oh,
that's
yeah,
no, exactly. Yeah, every manager needs a good assistant as like a sounding board as well. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you've got a good one like you two have got that good relationship, then it works wonders. It works really really well. That's why I've got Simon. I've kept Simon hanging around for the last 30 odd years because he makes me look really good. So
I like it. Yeah.
I keep telling you, mate. Drugs and smoking are bad, mate. You just don't listen. So,
yeah,
I know what's happened to you. Look, you got no hair on your head, a shocking beard. You know what I mean? If you listened to me, you could have been as beautiful as me. But you're not. So.
yeah, okay, all right. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Sounding board, I think. The
Yeah,
term, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Or a punching bag sometimes.
Yeah.
Right, but we've got a lot of questions for you. But Craig, I just want to sort of get your sort of thoughts on the season
Mm.
because obviously things are. I don't want to say up in the air because to be honest, I don't think. I think it's done. Do you know what I mean? I know there's one more game to play, but I think we can quite confidently say, but it's going to have to take something pretty
Miraculous.
bad to happen
Yeah.
for them for White Eagles to take it. But how do you think the season obviously has gone for you guys? And as it's
Uh,
your first season, I mean,
I mean, it's been incredible. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's interesting because like early doors, I actually think the standard of Division 3 caught me by surprise.
right.
Because obviously I was a little bit higher before, and then like I've said before to like a few of you, and like the
Mm.
top 4 or 5 in Div 3 are very good.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're probably Div 1 standard. Even a couple of teams who maybe don't like us for various reasons, but like City Ladies are an incredible side. White Eagles are a really good side. Alton are a great side. And obviously Portchester Devs are a really good side as well. So it's and us as well. So initially I was sort of like, oh, this is going to be a fight. This is going to be tough. And I think the first, like I said, 3 4 months, as sort of Mark alluded to, we were finding our feet a little bit. I can't remember exactly what you called the Alton game, Mark, but it was like a battle or something like that. You said
Chaos. They
yeah,
used.
chaos.
It
Yeah,
was
it
chaos.
was. It absolutely was. Like we had the better technical players than Alton that day. But if you look at the difference between when we played them that day and when we played them at home, it took us a while to break them down at home, but we were always the dominant side. And like I actually think when we played Rushmore, I think it was early January, and we were expected to win that game. And Rushmore in the 70th minute got a dodgy penalty. They put it in. I actually think from that point forward, something clicked in our mentality. We were sort of like, they've scored against us. What the bleep?
Yeah.
Um, from there, it seemed to have kicked on a bit, and probably the other game that I think was really important for the players' confidence was the USP or US Portsmouth away game in the Invitation Cup that we lost 3-0. Because we went into that one a little bit unsure because obviously they were one of the best sides in the county. They were going for the Div 1 title, and we were sort of like just again still like at the end of finding our feet type phase, and we were sort of like,
Mm.
well, how good are we? Because we weren't sure. We really weren't sure where we were, and we lost that game, but we played really well, and we created a number of chances. And I remember their bench after half an hour, someone from their bench went, "Oh, this lot are actually pretty good." Um, and then, like I said, we lost that day, but there was something changed in the mentality, and then from there, I think it was from there we ended up with all the clean sheets and winning
Mm.
most of the matches. So the season has been a massive success, and obviously getting to the Hampshire County Cup final is probably a step beyond what we were anticipating earlier on. But with the way things have been going in February, March, and April, we get to the point now where it's not a surprise with how
Yeah.
the players have developed. So yeah, so hopefully, as long as City Ladies don't kick 11 footballs in their own goal on Sunday, we should hopefully be okay. But we'll obviously do the diplomatic and we'll wait and see.
Yeah, because if people listening or watching don't know, it's quite tight at the top still, isn't it? And City Ladies and is it who's the other team?
White
Eagles.
Eagles.
Thank you,
White
White
Eagles.
Eagles. Yeah, I was going to say them. Yeah, White Eagles. They're sort of fighting it out for first and second as well, really. So it's quite tight up there, and you can't. I mean, to be the pessimistic side of me says, oh, one of them could turn up and do a deal with the other one and say we'll lose 12-0 so you can win the league. But there's no reason for them to do that because they want to get promoted as well. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
it's going to be, and they're both pretty good teams, and they're both quite well matched, I think, as well across the results of the season if you look at their table. So yeah, there's a
yeah,
reasonable chance it'll be a draw or quite a close win either way. So yeah,
yeah. I think
it's
it was
should be a good game.
I think it was 4-3 White Eagles first
Mm.
time, and obviously City need to win to get second and get promoted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's in
so
our favour, and I think personally, it's not like a dead rubber for one of the teams. They both want to
yeah.
win.
I
If it
mean,
if
I
it ever gets played.
always yeah. It's a bit annoying. It's obviously not on the same day as we played our last
Yeah.
fixture. It's a bit
Yeah,
I'm not sure the policy behind that. But
yeah,
I said to the team, I think it was in January when obviously we're looking at the league table and stuff like that, and I was like, look, the other teams are probably going to slit their own throats like by taking points off each other. So
yeah,
we've just
Yeah.
got to win and win and win and win,
Yeah.
yeah,
and we've done that barring one. So
mm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. You just
Yeah.
all you could do, all you had to do was just concentrate on your game and winning, getting the points that you needed to get to that summit. Do you know what I mean? And you can't help. It was just, do you know what I mean? It's the same with the men's team when we played Weymouth. All we had to do was just concentrate on beating Weymouth, and then hope that the results around us went our way, which unfortunately didn't. So that's basically all we've done. That's all you can do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've said to quite a few people actually, because I think a lot of people know I absolutely live and breathe this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't ever switch off from this. And I said to a lot of people, like, as soon as our game was done against Havant, like, I just felt relaxed because I'm like, control the controllables. We've done our bit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got a good night's sleep for once that night. But, yeah.
Yeah. It's the same with this podcast, Craig. I just live and breathe it. You know what I mean? It's it's taken over my life. You know what I mean? Work comes second. And my little boy, he comes a distant third. You know what I mean? It's
There you go.
Alan in my ear every day. I mean, it's just the way football is, Craig.
It's all lies.
It is.
It's all lies. It's all lies. He just
Yeah.
turns up and then rambles on. That's it.
right.
That's all he does.
That's right. So on a serious note, what's I'll go back to you, Mark. What would you give the season out of 10?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've kind of we've overachieved. So I would give it a, a solid 9. I mean, 10 would be if we obviously got a trophy, which I think, in fairness, again, we've like Craig set the girls some goals for the end of the season. They said, look, our goal difference is we need to get our goal difference higher so that we can. It's almost effective like giving yourself an extra point, right?
Yeah.
So I think there was a period of 3 weeks where we played the teams that I mean, and no disrespect to them, we should be beating, but we wanted to make sure that we tried to really set a marker so that actually we could get in a position what we're kind of in now, where we've had a fantastic result in the sense of it is 2 teams that actually have to win the game rather than one team season being over. We've all been there where a team just doesn't need to play, but they're just playing. But this one, 2 teams have to win. But we've kind of given us a really good chance where, because we've got the good goal difference now, we've left them a big task. Like, it's obviously it can be achievable, but hopefully it isn't. And the Hampshire Cup again is something that's obviously really, I wouldn't say a surprise, because I actually think that the women are superb, and they've really stepped up against some of the bigger teams, and this is now a bit of a bonus. It's our first season. Even the B team, they got to a final as well. They're going for the league. Like, this is a really good. If you told me at the start of the season that this would happen, I wouldn't have thought it would. Just in the sense of you almost need a season to like gel together, but the girls have really gelled pretty quick. So
I'd have probably said the same, Mark. To be fair, after the Yateley friendly that we saw, I thought it definitely would be happening. Thankfully, things improved greatly after that.
Yeah, honestly, after that friendly, Jesus Christ, I didn't want to come out of my house for a week. Honestly, it was. But yeah, looking back, the worst result of the season was in a friendly, so that's fine.
Yeah,
fortunately,
exactly. You can't complain, then, can you?
I put some of the good luck down to me, because I asked Garbo to change the seat that I was sat on for that game, just get it changed and move it somewhere else and put another one in. And since then, it's all gone quite well. So yeah, got me to thank, really.
Cheers, thank you for that.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Anything to help,
So looking forward to the Hampshire Cup final then. You're playing? Is it Burlesdon? Is that how you pronounce it?
Basildon? I always said Basildon. I always pronounce things wrong. So
we'll go with Alan's one then. Basildon.
Basildon, yeah. So they're obviously. I think they're top of Division 1, aren't they?
They just won it last week.
Yeah. So they're obviously going up into the regional leagues. But you've also beaten a couple of Division 1 teams along the way in the cup. So how are you guys confident for May the 12th?
Yeah, I know the manager of Basildon really well, actually. Pete, he's a lovely guy. I feel like he's incredibly competitive. I've not gone up against him in a match, actually, so he'll obviously be desperate to win. But he's done an incredible job there. He really has. He came in last summer. I know he brought some of his own players across from elsewhere, and they've had an amazing season. They've won Div 1 quite comfortably. They've only lost one game. So they've been, I think it was 2 games they lost in one of the other cups, but they've only lost 2 games all season at about 25-30. They've got an incredible squad. They've got a couple of players there that I'm not going to lie, on my past team, dealt a bit of damage, shall we say? So I'm well aware of a number of their better players. But I think for us, it's just exciting that we get to play them.
Yeah.
Because we beat US Portsmouth, who are probably going to finish third or fourth in Div 1. We beat Varsity, who are going to finish second. And it's nice for us to go up against what is and it's not even questionable, the best side in the Hampshire County Women's Leagues.
Yeah.
And that's something that we want to aspire to. So like I said, we get a crack at it straight away in year one. So it's they'll go up to Southern Region next year. I know they'll do well with Pete. So the county cup final it's sort of a little bit of a free hit for us, but also we are absolutely not treating it like that. We know it's a game we can win. And if we turn up and the girls turn up and they follow the game plan and stuff like that, I think we've got a really good chance. But we certainly know we are playing against a proper team. So it's going to be tough, but it should be a good game.
Do
And
you think?
sorry, Tom, is everyone fit for it and ready for it?
Oh no, everyone's injured. Everyone's out.
By that, I do mean Morgan. Morgan, is she ready to go? Ready to go?
Yeah, she's still going through tests and stuff like that. So obviously we hope that she'll be right for the final. Fingers crossed. But if not, Jade might be getting a phone call. So
I'm sure she'll step up. Jade will step up, and yeah, she'll do well if she's needed, wherever she has to play.
Yeah.
Go on, Tom, you
yeah.
can say
No,
something.
no, we're all good.
Anyway, yeah. Do you think sort of the difference of the level of the sides and maybe, like you mentioned, the knowledge you had of their side, do you think that you'll have more knowledge to possess for the game than they will on us to use against? Yeah, sorry, I think I phrased this horribly, but
I got it. It's interesting because now I might be wrong here, but obviously we played their reserve side a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure their first team assistant manager watched that game rather than go to their own first team game, and they recorded us on the VO footage. We won 11-0, so I'm hoping there isn't really much they can take from that.
yeah,
As we ended up playing with two centre backs for the last half hour, I think, because we were going for the goal difference as well. So I just feel a little bit mean having to just keep scoring and scoring and scoring, but we had to for the goal
Yeah.
difference. But I think we've got a lot of players that like we signed in the summer that a lot of the teams in Hampshire weren't aware of, that I was aware of, because I've like I said, I'm absolutely mental. I know far
Yeah.
more than I ever should do. But for example, like Steph, Ellie, and Georgia, who came from Hawley, and like no one would have looked at them before because Hawley was Div 3 Thames Valley side. No one really looks at that. No one would care. Obviously, I had seen a little bit before and whatever, but now where they're with us, they're now starting to get a bit of exposure. And now I've heard from other managers, they're like, who is this? Steph. Who is this Ellie? Who is this Tally? Who is Izzy? And we've developed these players to the point where now people are, and those included, probably are taking an interest, and they're like, how good are they? But people are only just finding out when they play us. So yeah, they know a bit about us. So like I said, I know a bit about them because the players have caused me problems in the past. But no, like I said, it should be a good game. So yeah.
In terms of those players you mentioned, Craig, I was just going to say it's probably fortunate they're all on 3-year contracts. So if they do decide to sign, then there's going to be a substantial fee required to get their services. So that's for anybody sniffing around,
I believe we're selling Izzy to Real Madrid, and I'm getting 20% cut. I think.
All right, if it's the men's team, then you've done well there. But yeah, I think I actually give them a run for the money, especially in training. I think they might be surprised.
But so who without obviously because I know you got your awards night coming up in June. I think we said it was
8th of June.
Yeah,
8th of June.
9th.
9th
of June.
So I knew Ellie. We met Ellie down the pub on Saturday after a shift and had a quick drink with her before she left, and she said the 8th, so I knew she'd get it wrong.
That sounds about right.
So without yeah,
probably just didn't want me there.
Yeah, probably nobody did. Yeah, but without giving too much away, who in your eyes and you, Mark, as well, has sort of stood out this season?
I'll let you go first, Mark.
it's quite a tough one, to be fair, because they've all played really well. I'd probably say I'm going to sit on the fence, and I will say that I think getting Morgan in was pretty big for us. I think we kind of saw where we might have been lacking a little bit, where we wanted a bit more experience. And I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Craig, I think it's the only person that we kind of really approached to come down to come to us.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfortunate for her injury, but just so I don't know if you guys are aware that she played with an injury for about 4 weeks, which she didn't tell us. She didn't want to tell us that she was injured, and then she still played really well. So I think she's been really good for us, and I think she's improved the team as the season's gone on as well, in terms of getting the ball back, coming out off a line really well and stuff like that. Like, I often say to her, and Jade as well, actually, to be fair, if you stop the attack first before they shoot, even though they've not had a shot, you've done your job more than perfectly, because you've actually stopped them from shooting. So I'm gonna stick to the goalkeepers union, and I'll say Morgan. Good luck,
Craig. You would. Yeah, I mean, I should probably say, obviously Maisie's played a few times for us in goal when she's been available, and she's been great for us as well. The time she has come in, sort of before Morgan signed, and a couple of games when Morgan was away. So she's been great. But in terms of like the more regular ones, I mean, obviously you look at our top goal scorers, and you look at Ellie and Ez, and obviously Katie's missed a lot of the season. But I remember having a chat with our physio Ben, who's him and Bernardo are incredibly important to us. And I said to Ben, and we were talking about when we're hopefully going to win the league, which hopefully be official soon. Like, Katie's going to go and score the goals for us when she's back. And obviously, last game of the season, she bangs 2 in the third and fourth.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, because a lot of the season we wanted to put those 3 together, but for injuries and other reasons, we've not really been able to do it. So it's as long as those 3 are fit next season, it's actually terrifying what they might achieve. And getting Steph back as well was incredibly important, because we thought we were going to have her from the summer. Ended up not being able to get her until I think it was February time, and she gave us a bit of a kick, I think, in terms of like going from middle to attacking third with how she plays. She's been important. I'm going to end up naming everyone here. But like, I'll try and generalize it a bit. But like, the defense going from the first few games to seeing being like 4-3, 5-4. I think we had a 6-5 in there at one point. And now, like I said, 6 of the last 8 games have been clean sheets. Obviously, goalkeepers have been important, but Leanne has got quicker. I'm not quite sure how, but she has. I don't know what's gone on there. Georgia, I had a joke with Georgia about sort of at the trial and stuff like that, and I was like, "There's something there, but I'm not sure." And no, I think it was one of I think it was quarterfinal of the cup game. I think I messaged her and I was like, "You're an absolute beast! Like, she just dominates there." To a crazy amount, and she's really, really come on leaps and bounds this season. I would be terrified if she ever tried to tackle me. She'd take my leg as well. And then I look at the evolution of kind of our centre mids. Unfortunately, we lost Rosie about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. She broke her wrist. But and then it was the question of, can we work with Tally and Izzy, two naturally attacking midfielders? Can you work as a 2? And that was the challenge for them. And against City Ladies, we went with we changed our formation completely to counteract how they played. And key to that was having Tally and Izzy as a 2, and they were superb, really dominant, and started out adding a lot of discipline to their game. So there's loads I'm missing. Anna, bless her, like, I put her centre back. She hates playing centre back. She doesn't tell me that, but I know she does. But she's been superb. Yeah,
she's
so
just
many.
Being so good at it.
Yeah, I know. It's a curse.
I think Craig's on the ultimate fence here.
Yeah. I've gone on.
He keeps looking down. I reckon there's a list in front of him. He's trying to get rid of the names off before he gets.
The only ones Craig hasn't talked about are the keepers.
Yeah,
I covered that. No, you did at
Yeah.
the start. To be fair.
yeah. To be fair,
I'll
I'd say
I'll go through
it's
S.
not.
Leah, Elsie, Nelly, Mia.
There is a
But
there's definitely a lot to say about the girls team. So Craig's right in mentioning lots of different people, but I think key to its success, I think, is having good partnerships. Like you've got Leanne and Georgia at the back as a defensive partnership. You've got Izzy and Tally in the middle as a partnership. You know, complementing each other well with sort of and as Craig said, discipline is important in there because you've got if one goes, the other one needs to stay and hold and you know that sort of thing. And when you're defending or getting bodies behind the ball, you both got to do your bit. And obviously up front, you've got the three of them. You got Izzy, Esme, and then Louise when fit. You know, so it's yeah, it's all about football's all about partnerships. And what Mark said about the goalkeeping, yeah, like you say, if you can stop things at source before they get the shot away. A lot of people think goalkeeping's about shot stopping. It's not. It's about commanding the area and communicating with your defenders and working as a unit. So it's yeah, it's all important. It's all good learning to the girls as well. And I know they all take it on board as well. The way they talk to us and you guys in training. So it's you know it's kudos to you guys really for getting it all together
mm,
in one in half a
yeah,
season really.
Yeah, they've. I mean, the group they've been incredible. Like it's.
mm.
I think there's a few jokes about I'm always angry or something like that, but like we as a coaching team, like we're like incredibly proud of all of
Yeah,
them and like
yeah.
their progression through the season, and you know it's because they put the work in, and yeah, so and now because they put the work in, hopefully you know they get the rewards of fingers crossed the league title, a cup final, but they've got to do it all again next season.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
and
absolutely, yeah,
and it
yeah.
absolutely.
starts again.
That is the thing with football. Where you get one season and it's so everyone resets again. You're back to 0 points, but start again, haven't you? So it's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask you though is have you thought about next season yet? Have you started looking around for you know maybe improvements to the team, or have you not got that far yet?
Oh yeah,
I thought you might.
yeah, mate, I don't
He's already
stop.
on it. He's already on
I
it.
feel you don't. I feel like he's underselling how much he lives and breathes it. I try and tell him to have a week off. In fact, what was that week where we had no game for a couple of weeks, I think, and I said, Craig, just switch it off, don't do anything. And I think it was Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning. He sent me his first text to say, I've been looking over, and I think what we need to do. And I was like, what happened to day off? And he was like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
But that's it though. You're a manager.
Yeah,
It doesn't stop, does it? Really?
No, it doesn't. You have to you have to evolve the team. Like if
Mm,
you know if you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, how many times he evolved that Manchester
mm.
United team. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be doing this for however long that was 17, 18, 19 years, but like I always come from, and this sounds a bit obvious, but like two different perspectives. Right, everyone's staying. Like this is how things are going to work. Or if X goes, what are we
Who do
doing?
I get in? Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
and you always have to look at it from that. You have to cover your bases.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the
No,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Summer's always a bit of a it's a bit of an unknown for a lot of teams, isn't it? Because you don't know what's going. Especially, I mean, going back to the men's side, it's always well, me and Alan have this discussion a few times already. It's kind of you have you sort of got your chalk and your blackboard, and you kind of you're
mm,
almost wiping all the names off, and then you think, well, who have I got left? And you sort of they'll be left with three. I'm not saying it's like that for the ladies' teams. I think most of the girls will stay together for next season. I hope. But for the men's team, it's kind of always a bit. You've got in Farnborough wise, you've got Jack Turner, for example, and Reggie, and you've got Jack Ball coming back in. You got those sort of names. They're going to be around hopefully next season. Guy Hollis, we're pretty sure he's going to stay. But then
Yeah.
we've already lost Jordan Norva Williams, haven't we already? And it's not even season hasn't only just finished, and there's already one out the
just
door. You
finished.
know, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like that, isn't it? It's very a lot of people would find that quite difficult. You've built something really good, and all of a sudden you kind of end up getting the foundations knocked from underneath your feet, and you're starting again almost. But not
Yeah.
again. Not that I'm saying that's going to happen with the ladies' team, but I hope.
Yeah, no, look, losing Jordan was a bit of a blow from,
Yeah,
if I can put my fan hat on, I really
yeah.
liked watching
Please
him
do. Yeah,
actually,
yeah. I'm in the same boat
for
as you.
quite a lot. But yeah, I mean, I always really enjoy like when the season ends and then all the kind of cards get thrown up at the table, whatever,
yeah,
because you don't know where they're going to. I personally, I've always enjoyed it because even from like my point of view, I always go through a process of, okay, am I happy? Am I doing this? What am I doing moving forward? Am I sticking? Am I going? Am I looking elsewhere? And like the players have to do it as well. Like
Yeah,
as much as I want everyone to stay and all that kind of stuff, they also have to go through a process of, okay, season end, what am I doing? Because
yeah,
I've always been had a philosophy of people have to be happy. because otherwise,
Yeah,
what's the
no,
point?
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have players in any team. You're going to have players that haven't played as many games as others, and those are the players that are going to be sitting there thinking, well, if I stay next year, is it going to be the same or is it going to be less games? I can go to this club and play more games
Yeah,
and all of that. So yeah, you're right. Everybody, it's a process that everybody at a football club has to go through, really, at the end of the
yeah.
season.
It's also that thing, and I'm sure Mark, you'll agree with me, but obviously pipe up if you disagree. But like, it's always the thing of like, I've had players previously, and I'm sure we'll have players like a Farnborough women's team or whatever. But like, they'll end up getting attracted by like clubs who with money basically. And then they have to make a decision on what they do. And if that day comes or whatever, and it has come before in the past, I'm always like, I'm really unhappy that you're leaving, but I'm also incredibly so happy that you've got this opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's kind of the
It's
philosophy
that whole
you,
it's
you
that
need
whole
to have.
thing. You're not gonna stand in their way when a club higher up comes in for them. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of people weren't too happy with Jordan Northern Williams, because
Mm,
it seems a bit of a more of a sideways step than a forward step. But then I think
yeah,
maybe he's thinking that with Dorking, it's a quick route to the National League without going straight to the National League next season. So
Yeah.
he can still test himself in this league and have a good season and get promotion at the same time.
I I did assume because obviously he said he was leaving before it was announced he was
Yeah.
going to Dorking. I
Yeah.
assumed he was going up.
So
Yeah.
Me
yeah, I
too.
think everybody
Um,
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I thought the same. To be fair,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually like you, Craig and Mark. I'm a little bit annoyed. I think it's probably the right word that that he's gone to Dorking, because I think I know they've up
Too annoyed
until
because we want to
up
get him on a podcast at some
no,
point.
no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I would have calmed down by then. I promise you, Jordan. If you are coming on, I won't. I might miss the episode if it makes you more comfortable. But it's I was a little bit annoyed that he's gone to Dorking. I mean, only till like 3 weeks ago they were a division above. So from that point of view, I kind of see it. But then they've been relegated. He's going to be playing against us next season, and we all
Yeah,
know from watching him for the last couple of years since he signed from Hayes, he has been a proper good player, and I think
yeah,
after his first couple of months, he's probably been over that period. He's probably been our best player, and he
Yeah.
certainly
mm,
has been this
yeah,
season. I was a little bit disappointed that he went there, but yeah, like Mark said, when he announced he was going, we thought, oh, he's going to a. I thought maybe a League Two team might have come in for him, which I
yeah,
think he could play at. I think he could do a job at
Easily, I
that level.
think.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he
Agreed.
could, and then it was Dorking. I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. You know what I mean? Oh, all the teams. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I had him on the phone the other on was it Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
It was not Simon was just it was like effing and blinding and everything. So I was like that with the phone.
What he said when he had him on the phone, I thought he talked about Jordan. I thought, when you got his number?
No, not Jordan. No,
What do you want to tell me?
no,
Yeah.
no.
Trying
I
to
was
sign
trying
him
to
for the
talk to him.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like, yeah, but I've had a bit of time to take it all in now. And yeah, it's a step. I mean, Dorking are going to go. I mean, Alan's obviously the way Alan's talking, he probably doesn't mean to, but he's probably still almost thinking that Dorking are promoted back up already. But look, I was looking at the league going through the teams that are going to be in it. I think Oxford are going to end up in the north next season, because
yeah,
of just
yeah.
the
I
way
think
the
they will
league's
be.
going
Yeah,
to be made. And there's some really good teams going to be in our league next season. You got Maidenhead obviously going to be in because they didn't make it through the playoffs, which I was surprised at. You're going to have one of either Braintree or Worthing next year still in, and they're both going to be really good
Should be
sides. I know.
Maidstone, not Maidenhead.
So I keep doing that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I keep
Maidenhead.
doing
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
Maidstone.
it's
yeah.
ever
Maidstone
since
didn't
we
make it,
did
did
ever since we did Kevin Locko's interview, I'm just obsessed. And yeah, Maidstone. I mean, they're a really good team. They've had a great season as well, and I was amazed they didn't go up. They didn't win that game the other night, but yeah, but they're going to be in next season. Then you got
Same with Chelmsford.
yeah, Chelmsford are going to be pushing as well. I mean, obviously they're going to lose in the playoffs again if they get there, so that's fine. And yeah, it's just it's a tough league. And looking at it, and you could talk that Torquay obviously are going to still be in the league, which everyone seems to
One
sort
of
of slightly
Braintree or
forgotten about.
Worthing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've mentioned that. Yeah, so it's going to be a really not probably not as tough a league this season, because obviously you got Yeovil will come out, and the teams coming down are probably sort of maybe in a bit of transition. Boreham Wood also, I forgot about them. They're
Yeah.
the other ones coming down. I mean, they're all proper good sides at our level. I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't know what Mark thinks or Craig about my thoughts on it, but it's going to be it's going to be a tough league. Maybe not as tough as it has been this season, but still really, 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 really good standard of teams coming in.
Yeah, I think it's a really good league. To be fair, I've gone to a few games this year. I kind of just wanted Farnborough to go up and Scarborough to go up, so I could actually go and watch Scarborough play for a change again. But it's not gone my way because both leagues are really strong in the conference, North and South. So,
I've got bad memories
really
about Scarborough, Mark. I'm a Chelsea fan, see, and they beat us in 1990. They beat us in the League Cup 3-1 at Stamford Bridge, and I've never lived it down. I remember my dad come home from watching it, and he was absolutely livid. I've never seen him so angry in all his life. Yeah, he never got over it, I don't think.
I remember the FA Cup game, and I'm not over that when William Gallas handballed it in the box. But so you got your revenge.
Good old Gallas. Yeah, he was all right till he went to Spurs or Arsenal.
So were a lot of players.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, well,
that's coming from a Spurs fan.
What do you, I know we've digressed slightly off women's football, but what do you think about myself and Mark's thoughts about the league next season? It's going to be tough or a bit easier for us? Playoffs maybe? Question mark.
It's always the aim, isn't it? So it's always the aim to go up. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like it's I'm maybe getting off the football side of it, but I just feel like the club in general is in a good place and moving to a better place. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even like out with like having finances to buy players and stuff like that. I just feel like there's just a good vibe and atmosphere throughout the whole club, which I think is just gonna help things moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love nothing more than for obviously to go up next season, but I think it is going to be tough. But I don't think there's going to be any team in there as strong as Yeovil have been.
No.
Like Dorking, obviously they've got a lot of razzmatazz with Mark White and all that sort of stuff. But like, I don't think they'll win the league comfortably. You obviously expect them to be up there challenging heavily, but we'll see how it goes. But hopefully we can challenge again for the playoffs, if not get in, and then get up again. So it would be nice. I keep walking past, outside the stadium. It's got the old like Farnborough v Arsenal FA Cup and stuff like that. It talks about history and stuff like that. And
in the fan zone,
I sort of tell my boy about that, and I remember that and all that kind of stuff. And he's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Did that actually happen? Like, I mean, he's 14, so he's still questioning me.
I remember queuing up at the club at 8 a.m, getting the tickets for Alan and Mark and all my mates and stuff. Yeah, they were only allowed to buy 4, so I had to draw some lots for the tickets. So it was good. My old man came along as well, and visiting Highbury. It was only my second ever visit to Highbury actually in the end, as it turned out, because I went to the Farnborough game. That was my first visit, and then I went to the Chelsea Champions League game where Wayne Bridge scored against them and won it. So in 88th minute. So two really good visits to Highbury. But from my point of view, but it was I don't know. It's amazing, really. It's a shame, really. I still remember the old Farnborough Town days. I'm a bit traditional like that, and I still think we should be wearing a sort of the yellow and blue.
Oh, he's never going to get off this. He's never going to get off this. I think he hates the away kit. He hates it.
Yeah,
the one now.
That pink monstrosity there.
That's a nice kit.
That's a cracking. It's a cracking kit.
It's an absolutely cracking. I have to say that the black fur kit looks half decent. I have to say that'd be quite decent. That'd be right.
There's quite a lot of the players in the women's setup would actually love to wear the white and pink one as the home one. Like
really?
they just like it. Yeah. I think it's
I love it.
Lovely.
It's a lovely kit.
I love it. I've got the away kit. I got it for a Christmas present, and I don't know why Simon doesn't like it. Maybe because it's got pink on it, but
yeah. I mean, I'm probably coming across in my chauvinistic way here, but pink's a girl's colour, so that's it.
Yeah, you are absolutely going to get cancelled at some point, just to let you know.
Simon, you said that to a women's football team.
Having said that, I don't actually own anything pink. I know nothing but nothing. No, I did buy. I got to a point actually where I bought.
You're just digging yourself a bigger hole here now, Simon.
I got to a point where I actually bought a set of eight pack of like boxer shorts, and one of them was pink. I just chucked the pink set out. So that was it.
Yeah. That's so weird.
No one's going to see it, Simon.
No one's going to see him. If I get lucky in a night out, I don't want that to happen. You know what I mean?
No, that's never going to happen.
That's steering the conversation away.
I know.
Go on, Tom.
I was going to say, Simon, I would not worry.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say I have got this weird thing like where I'm like now like coach at Farnborough, manager of the women's team or whatever. I feel like I can't actually wear the kit, like going to a game.
yeah. I
Like,
remember
Oh,
you saying
really?
about that. Yeah, I remember you saying.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
bizarre.
it's a tough one.
Yeah, I couldn't wear it.
I can't wear it because I've already grown out of the shirt I bought at the start of the season. So it's yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Going back on Tom's point about me having no luck with women, it's probably the skid marks that might put them off first. So that's
Oh, Simon. Simon.
Oh
Remember
God.
the top of the show, Simon? You said it's a family show, yeah?
yeah, it's all right. The kids have got to learn. What you grow
Right.
properly, kids. I've
Let's
got a little
move
boy.
on.
I know what it's like.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Right, we've got some questions been sent in to us by some of your players. So I'll start off with a question from Nelly, and she some of these are quite funny. She said, "How many times have you guys wanted to just kill her, or just tell her to shut up?"
Mm, I don't know. Uh, I don't really know how to answer that because she's actually quite lovely. Um, but yeah, 8
Hate.
per week.
Yeah. And
I see
Nah, she's all right.
Mark's keeping quiet there. I don't know if he's got anything to
It's quite fun. So my first interaction with Nelly was I don't know if you remember it, Craig, but it was having the Waterloo Villa away, and we were discussing because we were quite short on numbers, and we were discussing what we need to do because were we losing or we might have been just about winning or drawing or something. It was one of those chaos games at the start of the season again, and we kind of went we need something up top, but the only thing we can play is Nelly, and Craig said, "Can you go and can you just go and tell her that this is what we're going to do at half time?" So I remember just walking over to her. She's kind of like warming up, kicking a ball about, and I said, "Nelly, we're going to bring you on at half time, and we're going to bring you on up top." And she just turned around to me and went, "Fuck off." No, you're not. And I was like, "No, I'm being deadly serious. You're playing up top." And she's like, "What am I going to do up there?" And I was like, "Just do what you can normally do. Just run ragged and everything." So she ended up scoring. So I feel like we got it right on the day. But yeah,
Justified then. Justified.
she's a great character.
Yeah.
I would say.
Probably the same reaction I get when I get told to playing up top. So what the hell am I going to do up there? You know what I mean? What? You know?
But she's also posed this thought question. She said, "How much would it cost?" And I think this is a common theme with some of these questions. How much would it cost to get Mark the same hairstyle as Craig?
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, a few have asked this.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but get more from having hair than Craig does without hair. Um, but it's close, I would say. I'm close to it. I've had discussions with the wife, and it's definitely something we're thinking about. So.
Had discussions.
Is it purely for the money then, Mark? You were thinking about getting the mortgage paid off, etc.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time we discuss it, there's an event that we're like, maybe I should wait until this event happens, and something always comes up. But it will be a day where I just rock up with it. But I don't know. I might do something for charity to shave my head off, maybe.
You can always get a pot going and get that holiday to Greece you've always liked. You always looked at in the travel travel magazines.
I could. To be fair, I get it on the daily. Let's just put it that way, not just from players. So, yeah.
Right. The next one has come from Bernardo, who I believe is one of your physios
Oh yeah,
on the team.
Yeah.
And he's said, "Where did they find such attractive and competent physiotherapists?"
Is that a statement or a question?
Yes, that is a question.
Statement.
I have Bernardo and Ben are just they're absolutely fantastic. Ben's got he's like he might genuinely be like the most happiest positive man I've ever met in my life. Like he's like a Duracell bunny, like just in real life. I've actually
Will
got a
not
little bit of a
stop.
tribute to him because we have coffee mornings and stuff, and he bought or he got gifted a you know Ted Lasso, and you got the Mexican guy on there. Football is life and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So he got a T-shirt with that on. And then for my birthday from my partner, she also got me a very similar T-shirt, which I'm wearing now. It says "Football is life."
Yeah.
So there is a little tribute to Ben that we have the same "Football is life" T-shirt, but they are lovely, those two.
They're actually incredible. That the
Yeah.
effort and time they put in to all of the players, and they
Yeah.
offer everything out. And we just got lucky, I'd say, and they answered the call. We've had a lot of people like say how like not I wouldn't say jealous, but how the hell did they get a group of
Mm.
physios to the team? And
Yeah.
all they did, like, I mean, it was Lewis, to be fair to him, he just sent out
Yeah.
emails to every company and said, "Are you interested in being a physio for the Farnborough women's team?" And they did, and like, to be fair to them both, they actually absolutely breathe the football. I mean, I would say they are more committed than probably quite a few of us, in the sense of when Ben's away on holiday, he prays for rain so that he doesn't miss a game. So,
I was
so
going to
yeah,
say,
I think
we should probably mention Lorraine because me and Alan had a chat with her on Saturday night, and she was singing you guys' praises as always. And
Where did that come from, Simon?
what do you mean?
The
What are
rain.
you talking?
the
The rain.
rain,
He said he prays for rain.
Oh, praise for rain.
Not
I thought you said
praise for
Lorraine.
Lorraine.
I was going to bring that in because the reason I thought about it was must be my earphones must be going and at my old age the we were speaking to Lorraine on Saturday night and she actually mentioned about the physios and she said that, that some of the farmer men's team were actually quite jealous of having a group of people like that around your team and they're quite like some of that so yeah it was quite something to hear her say that I thought wow that is good really there must be really good people to have about. And
Yeah,
obviously, I've had a chat with Ben a few times at some of the matches, and he's a great guy, really nice chap.
Mm.
yeah, no, him and Bernardo have been absolutely fantastic. The time they put in, as Mark said, is crazy. Like they're the only. I think Ben's the only one who maybe threatens me for enthusiasm and never switching off for the football to the point where I feel slightly threatened by it, but he's not quite at my level, but
definitely.
he's coming for me. But yeah, no,
He is.
they're
He
amazing,
is.
and they're volunteers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. But my next one has come. I think you'll probably guess it's a bit of a jokey one, and it's slightly aimed at Mark as well. Um, so you might be able to guess who this has come from. But I've been asked to ask this as if it's come from us. So we've heard that every Tuesday morning, Craig, that you meet up with Ben from the
Hmm.
yeah, meet up with Ben for a coffee, and go over the previous games and plan for training and stuff like that for the week ahead. So is this the beginning of a bromance? And more importantly, Mark, how do you feel about this? Now, I just
I'm
said
okay with
this
it.
isn't a question. This isn't a question from us. This has been given to us, but I think you could probably guess who that's come from.
I'm all right with it because it always comes calling back to me, so it's fine.
I would I would say that the actual details of these meetings has not been clarified. There's a lot of guesswork from a few of the players. Um,
Right.
I do find it weird. A couple of times we've been in there, and Ben normally wears his farmer jacket, or whatever, and then just random people. Someone came up to us a few weeks ago, just randomly didn't know us, was like, "Oh, you Farnborough women's team or whatever," and that's bizarre. That's been
Mm.
a bit weird, but yeah, no, you're all right, Mark. You're fine. You should come with us. To be fair, I don't know why you don't.
We had our coffee the other week, didn't we? So
We did
got
Thursday.
them a
Yeah,
bit jealous. So,
yeah,
It does sound like you're gonna have to get one of those T-shirts, though, Mark. Otherwise, you won't get invited.
does sound like
yeah.
it. Sounds like I need to
Yeah.
wear my Farnborough kit as well.
Yeah. You say that I got held abuse by Aldershot fans the other week. They were across
Right.
the other side of the road hurling abuse at me. Like I was like, what?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me before anyone says anything.
Yeah. Right. The next one's coming from Jamie. He said, "What's the most challenging situation you faced as a coach, probably this season?"
Yateley first half.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'll ignore that one. I don't know. What do you reckon, Mark?
I've got two, I think. Well, actually, I've got a few. Um, my first challenge for me was try not to start a fight with the other coaches. In the first few games, I got involved far too much, so I had to keep my mouth shut. But I would say there was two games for me that were quite challenging. Um, City ladies at home
Mm.
when we lost, but we played really well, and I think that was a challenge to see how we would pick them back up because they were. I felt like they were a little bit because we played really well, and I think if I remember rightly, I think they scored three from corners. I think it was
It was two from corners,
two
and
from
then
corners. That was it.
we were pushing the last 10 minutes. And there was a couple of defensive mistakes.
Yeah, and then the other one, um, which I get abused about all the time, but White Eagles away, I think was a tough game in the sense of
Yeah.
it was a big day and there was a lot of sort of things that happened during the game and emotions and stuff, and yeah. But I would say they were pretty challenging. Those two games were, to be fair, this season.
I'd probably say that the one for me, there's probably quite a lot, but I don't know, it's just come to me really was actually White Eagles at home, because we didn't play well first half and yet we were 2-0 up. And I remember going to Mark, I was like, I'm actually fuming at this performance. Like we're 2-0 up, but this is not a 2-0 up performance. And he calmed me down quite a bit. And I think I went within about 30 seconds, I went from going in the change room, like effing and blind and all that sort of stuff, to had a chat with Mark. And then I think I walked into the change room and I went, right, that's a really interesting first half. Let's dissect it.
Yeah.
But we played much better second half and didn't score, but we saw the game out. So, but yeah, even though they've caused a couple of close games with them, playing White Eagles has actually been like one of the best teams we've played because they have been proper battles on the pitch. But as soon as full time went on both games, we all shook hands and we got on really well, which is the kind of games you want. But yeah, I'd probably say that one.
Yeah, I think you have enlightened us to the reason why Mark's there. Sometimes it's good to have someone to calm me down, or if you feel all the other way around, sometimes you need your
Someone to
friend or your
fight for you.
assistant to act. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, tell you show a bit more fight. But I think
We won't talk about those ones.
Do you think it was the right thing to do? What did calm you down a bit before or do you still think you should have gone in there and given them hell for 15 minutes and sent them back out? Or do you think you got your team talk correct after that?
No, it was absolutely the right thing. I think that's also the thing with like me working with Mark is like, I kind of know when I need to talk to him as well. Like to just kind of just steer me a little bit because I will know sometimes when my judgment is clouded. In terms of little, because I will look at really small things. Like I think there's a couple of players where like if they shoot from a certain position, they don't want to look at me because they know what their reaction will be.
Yeah.
And so even like little things like that, like it's yeah, I know when I need marked, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
Right. Next one's come from Rosie. I think she's kind of fishing here for a compliment, but she said, "Who is her favourite player who has a broken bone and has had surgery this season?"
Rosie, yes.
Yeah.
she's got a mean scar.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. Yeah, it's really really big one. It must have been. How did that happen during the game?
This is why goalkeeping shouldn't be done lightly.
Yeah, it was during a five-a-side she did at work, I think, and she done it that way. So yeah,
well,
what I will say is that is not the only injury we've had this season that has come from external five-a-sides.
Yeah.
Are
How
we
do you
going to
feel
get
about
them?
that?
Are we seeing them banned?
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you feel about all of that? Because I always remember like the teams that I've coached and managed, and with players coming back to me saying that they were injured because they played in a Sunday league game the day after, and they've done their ankles or they've done their knees or something, and I would just get so angry because I'm like, why are you doing it? And why do you mean what's the point?
Yeah, it is that thing though of like sometimes things just happen and like you can't
Mm.
like unless we're like paying them and like own
Yeah,
contract or
yeah,
whatever. That's different. But like people are gonna do what they want to do, and
yeah.
sometimes like I know some of the girls like if they don't play football through the week on their own like five-a-side or whatever, like they'll just like they just won't be in a good place if you know what I mean. Just
Mm.
because it's their fuel, and like I know that from when I used to play as well, and like I like playing five-a-side on a Monday when I can, just because it helps me with the other stuff. But yeah, it's a philosophy of sometimes things they just happen, don't they?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, can't control
Yeah,
everything.
I get. They wanna keep playing and stuff like that, just to sort of keep themselves fit and loose and that. But it's just when they come back and they say they've got injured because of it, and then it's not in my head. I'm thinking, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I
Uh,
did mine on the stag do once, so it wasn't five aside. So yeah,
yeah.
we played futsal in Barcelona,
Talking
and I
of
tore my groin.
talking of wrist injuries, how's the Anne's wrist? Because she went down and injured last game, didn't she? Is she all right?
yeah. She's all right.
She's fine. Okay, cool.
He's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, she's okay.
cool, cool, good.
right. Izzy has come in and said, "What was your biggest fear when you committed to Farnborough?" And Mark, why are you so easy to nutmeg?
Uh,
Go on,
well,
Craig.
uh,
We'll
to
start with
answer
you.
your second question,
Go on.
I'm not easy to nutmeg. However, how many did we get on Thursday? Five, I think, between us,
Five.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Just on
one
Izzy.
was
So,
within about 10 seconds, I think.
yeah.
Oh, she's she
Yeah.
she gives so much about it's gonna be double fines for nutmegs and all that sort of stuff, and then yeah, it's
Yeah.
we have to be careful. We can't go into double figures because we will knock her confidence. Um, but yeah, bless her. What was the other question? I can't remember.
The other one was, what was your biggest fear, Craig, when you first committed to the club?
I mean, being completely honest, I had loads of people from the old club say it was never going to work. So I guess the fear was it was not going to work. But yeah, like I went through moments like when we knew we were going ahead of it, and you just sort of like this is going to work, and but you just sort of kind of little doubts or whatever. Like you're like, is it like are we going to get enough interest? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? Or is the whole playing at the stadium thing going to work? Are we going to get training facilities and all that sort of stuff? But yeah, it was just like I said, external people being like, it will never work. And yeah,
Yeah.
obviously 12 months on it
Do you
quite
feel
clearly
like
has.
obviously you feel like you've proved them wrong?
Kind of irrelevant,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's because we get a lot of noise from everywhere. I think Yateley made a comment a couple of months ago about, oh, look at them in their fancy tracksuits and whatever else. And I think just over time we've just learned to just switch everyone off, and that was a conscious decision from about August time,
Mm.
to just ignore everyone else. We'll focus on ourselves. We'll heads down. We'll do what we think is right.
Mm.
And I'm well aware there are still clubs who are saying passive aggressive things, but they can crack on. That's absolutely fine. Not a problem for us. We will keep on doing what we do best, and that's trying to win
No,
football matches.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
you know, in life,
Absolutely.
it's easier for people to bash someone than actually give them praise sometimes, isn't it? So generally, it's people try to knock you down, don't they? Sometimes when they think you've gone up a bit too quickly or you're doing well, people, it's easy for people to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to accept in like the women's game that we're in a privileged position where if we lose, it makes people's days.
Yeah.
So we just need to make sure that those days do not come around
Yeah.
often,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a nice challenge for us. And I said in one of the post-match interviews with Celine that like the players in the first team squad have to be able to handle that pressure and the pressure of playing in the stadium. And if they
Yeah.
can't, they won't be with us.
Yeah.
So thankfully they've risen to the challenge. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's nice ammunition for your team talks, though, Craig, isn't it? When you got that sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, team talks are quite easy when that's going on,
Yeah,
to be honest. So
exactly. Yeah, you haven't got to say too much. Yeah, if we lose,
no.
everyone's going to be laughing, so don't let them laugh, isn't it? Basically. So,
And I don't think there's a better sign of you're doing something right than when other clubs and people are saying those sorts of things, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there was someone quite senior at another club was like, oh, they might get 6 players. So yeah, that's okay. It's all good. We'll take
Yeah.
it all on board.
It's worked out
You
now,
just,
so
you just, all you got to do is just do you, haven't you? That's it.
exactly.
That's what I said at the start. You just control the controllables. That's all
Yeah.
you can do.
Yeah. Right. Two more questions. This one's from Leah. She said, "What was your favourite game to manage and why?"
Uh, probably I've probably got a process of 3. They're all kind of interlinked, I feel. USP away that I mentioned, where we lost, but we started to understand that we can play at a good level. Then when we played US Portsmouth again at home and we dominated them, to you know to the point where we were like, oh, the players then believed at that point we're actually pretty good. And then that led on to the varsity semi-final where we knew how good they were, and we had a really good game plan for them. And again, it was 2-1, but it was a dominant 2-1 performance.
Mm.
And then I'll chuck one more in here, but City Ladies away, as I said, we knew how they were going to play. We changed our formation and our way of playing. We changed some of the players' roles, and the scoreline speaks for itself with the squad that was pretty similar, probably 90% to when we lost 4-0 against them. So that was pleasing as well.
Mark, what about you? What's your favourite game?
I would actually say, so Craig mentioned it, but I would also say the varsity semi-final game, just in the sense of, it was kind of a reflection, and we had a different team, obviously. Then not everyone that played there played, but we actually played varsity in pre-season, as
Yeah.
well, and I wouldn't say it was a rout or anything like that. It was quite a close game, and it was. I think it was that. Was it not that game as well, Craig? Where I think their manager said you're going to go into Div 3,
Yeah.
definitely. But it was just. It was kind of from then when I saw the semi final and how we played and how we basically controlled that game. I thought, Jesus, we have literally come from playing across the road in the school, to here, where we've just beaten this first team in a semi-final of a cup, and it looks like these girls have just treated it like a normal game. And
Yeah.
I'd say that was kind of my favorite game to I say watch loosely because my vision is very blocked from the dugout, but yeah, I did enjoy that game.
Yeah, I think for me that varsity game was was probably one of the better games that I watched. Not that the others were bad, but I think at that point I kind of sort of thought to myself, and I think I said to Simon as well, so these girls they can handle themselves against these Division 1 teams. And I think at that point you sort of I realised that that's probably your level at the minute. And you can
Yeah.
more than if do you know what I mean if when you do go up to that level, that division, that you'll more than hold your own in that league, in that division.
Yeah, I mean, Varsity are a really good side.
Oh
They've got
yeah,
a good
yeah.
setup as well, and they've done really
Mm,
well the last few years. And I think when we talk about like the best managed game, like it was, like I said, we went into the details. I remember we spoke about one of their players, it was Emma Payne, what might be Eloise Payne. I can't remember. The surname was Payne anyway. I remember we talked to Izzy quite a lot about you're gonna man mark her and you're gonna watch where she goes, and she never started.
mm,
And then it's one of my favorite points of the season is she came on after about 20, 25 minutes, and Izzy straight away just
mm.
locked eyes on her and like jogged across as she came on. And that kind of like taking on board the
Yeah,
small jobs and the small tasks, like just filtered through
yeah,
the whole team that day. And everything we asked them to do, they absolutely did. And Izzy man marking that player was just a small example of kind of how
yeah,
that day went and how everyone was absolutely on it. So
yeah. No, yeah, she played really, really well in that game, Izzy. Yeah, she did really well. Right, Ellie has come in. She said, "Who is the funniest? And if it's not her, why not?"
uh, isn't this the point we say Nelly?
Yeah,
You can say Nelly if you want.
I guess Ellie is a little bit funny. She needs to get some new jokes though. She always talks about my hair. So she
Yes,
just needs
I
to
might
freshen
lack
up the
on.
jokes.
yeah, yeah. She recently made a comment to me about having no hair, even though I have got hair. It's not very long. But she offered.
She's
Choice.
so
She told me that
Visible.
she would offer me the same deal she offers you, and that's to have some of hers.
great. I can't wait.
I would say Izzy and Mia are quite a double act as well when they're together. They're quite a comedy duo with
Yeah,
their whatever they're doing. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
but it does sound like they're all just having so much fun as a unit this season, bonding really well together.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
they
no,
do,
for
they do.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, they do. And you know, when they're asked to focus, they focus. So yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Right, and the last one, and she won't forgive. I know we've talked about her a little bit already, but just to get the last word in, because she might not forgive me, is Jade Nightingale. How good has she been? How good is she?
Was that her question? How good is she?
Yeah, yeah, partly my question as well.
Do you want to lead off, Mark?
Yeah, well, yeah, she's been very very good. Um, you know, she stepped up when we've needed her. Um, she's you know, it's kind of it's one of those players you always need where they can cover different positions, and she can pretty much cover anywhere on the pitch, including in goal. So it's definitely and she really has stepped up. And I know she was pretty nervous being in goal, but she's handled it really superbly. Um, it'd be good if we can get her not in goal, just in the sense of we probably kind of need her to be out pitched because we've been struggling recently with depth. But no, she's been good this year for us, definitely.
Yeah, she's one of the players out of the squad that I've known the longest and had the longest. So I've had this is her third season in a row I've had her. And yeah, like I can't really give her too much praise really. I'm feeling a bit weird here. But no, her attitude's spot on. Obviously, she helped us in goal the last few games and at the start of the season as well. And you know, she banged in a few goals, including an incredibly important one late on against Alton, which kind of sealed the points before Ellie put the icing on the cake. So not going to complain if she's scoring goals one end and keeping them out the other.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember that goal actually. I was with that game. Did she come on for it? Esme had a bit of a nightmare that game when she came on for her and that first touch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was
Yeah.
first touch or not, but she was just on it. I literally just said to her like, "Go score." So and she did, and then
Keep it
I
simple.
think
Keep it simple. Yeah.
yeah, I think afterwards she said, "You know what? If you want to bring me on for the last 10 minutes of games, and I'll just go and score the winner, that's fine." And I was like, "No, that's fine. That's all right with me." So
Yeah.
Super sub.
Like, like you say, we're giving her too much praise. You have got unusual for a goalkeeper. You have got to keep her feet on the ground. So you know it's quite important.
Very good.
very good, very good.
I mean, I'm here for the jokes. That's the only thing I bring.
Oh,
And
you and Ellie double acts, I think.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
I
that's
think we
the
could.
best one.
Yeah.
I reckon we could sell some tickets down the Princess Hall. I think for
I'm sure she would love
Yeah.
that.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think we'll bring this to a close, guys. So thanks for coming on.
The questions from
Oh,
last week.
go on. Oh
We're
yeah.
not.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a question. Yeah. Sorry, from our previous guest to our next guest, which is you guys. Obviously, you guys have watched Farnborough, the men's team this season, and our previous guest has asked, who has been your player of the season and why?
that. I feel like this is easy for you, Mark.
Yeah, well, probably is because I talk about him every time I see him play. But yeah, Jack Turner. To be fair, for me, I generally think he's one of the players that you know. I know you mentioned about Jordan before, but like I think he could easily play League Two football.
Oh, completely.
Yeah,
Potentially League One because some of his shot stoppings is incredible, and his distribution is like ridiculous.
It's
In
unreal.
fairness,
He's got a couple
So
of
yeah,
assists this season, hasn't he?
Three.
yeah,
He got three this
yeah.
season.
yeah. I think he's been incredible. I think my last game was the Maidstone game, and I think that
Oh,
save he made from the corner
yeah.
was like just
First half.
the way he did it. But yeah, but no, yeah, I think he's been really good.
Yeah. With him, it's
Yeah.
I think Spencer would agree with you on that one as well. He obviously gave him Manager's Player of the Year this year, so
Yeah.
the awards night, and it's some of his. It's with him, it's kind of almost a surprise when the ball goes in the net, isn't it? Which is a good sign of a goal of a great keeper, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, it's just what more can I say that Mark's sort of not already covered? He's been absolutely incredible, and like I know,
Mm.
like we've got a keeper in the under-14s at the minute that I sort of help with, and he's also a really really good keeper. I'm actually keen for Jack to meet him actually, just to have a meeting of the minds. So I'm kind of hoping in the under-14s when Jack is done or whatever that we've got another one coming through that can just
Perfectly
replace
come
him.
through.
Perfect.
So
Conveyor belt.
yeah, that's the goal. But no, Jackson brilliant. I probably would have put Jordan up there, but yeah, not if you're going to Dorking.
Yeah, you read my mind, Craig. I was thinking that. I was
Yeah,
just going to say, neither you mentioned Jordan has actually gone to Dorking. Well done. Yeah,
Yeah.
good work.
The trouble is
You can come again.
we all voted for Jordan before
All we knew.
the move actually happened. All we knew. So yeah, so we
yeah,
was all gutted.
If it's a sign of my sort of mellowed outness, I think it's probably the right term. Since he signed, I'm actually not annoyed about myself voting for him as player of the year, because I think he deserved. I think he was our player of the year, and and that hasn't changed. I still think he deserved it. And I think he might have got a few more awards at the night. I think I know they like to spread them out a bit, but I think he might have got a few more awards at the players' night if he hadn't announced he was leaving. I think
Yeah.
they might have rigged the vote a little bit possibly, but I don't. I might saying that in jest, obviously, but yeah, I think he was. It's just it's as we've gone over before. It's a bit of a shame he's left quite so quickly. I like the initial kind of break in the summer, thinking, oh well, we should have. Hopefully, we'll keep hold of Jordan down the left, and then 2 weeks before the season starts, he then announced he signed for Dorking. That would have been more apt.
yeah. No,
Right.
we weren't like that with us.
Yeah.
Right. So this also brings us to, because of the way this has worked, you now have to ask the question for our next guest, not obviously knowing who the next guest is. So, Craig, have you got a question for? Thinking on the spot now.
The question
Jesus.
for the person unknown.
You got anything, Mark?
What could it?
It doesn't have to be
What's
football
your
related. It could be anything about life
Yeah.
in general, if you like, which will be quite fun.
We'll do football. What's been their greatest moment in football, either both playing or like what's the first time that they like realised they love the game, whether it's
That's a good
going to a
question.
football match or just playing with friends or whatever. But and then
Nice.
what is their greatest what is their best moment in football?
Okay, nice one. Best moment of football.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Right, guys.
You know what? That'd actually be quite an interesting question, actually, for the person we've got coming on next. Actually, so
Yeah.
that's quite good. We know it is, but we're not going to tell you. You have to listen in, folks, and find
You
out
have to
next
listen.
time.
Yeah.
This is how we get
Hit
our
that
viewers up.
subscribe button. I like it.
Right. So that's it. We'll end it there. Don't go away, guys. We'll have a little chat after off air. We're gonna go. But thanks for coming on, and thanks for and for you coming on again, Craig, and for coming on for the first time, Mark. It's been really great talking to you and listening to everything you've got to say. And obviously, we hope that things go our way, your way, with the City Ladies and White Eagles game, and obviously we'll be there for the cup final as well in on May 12th. So if anybody that's watching and listening, May 12th at Stoneham, is it Stoneham Football Club?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Stoneham Leisure Complex, I think it's called. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
quite near. It's near Easton. I think it's just over the road
Yeah,
from
it's
Easton's
around the
ground.
corner
Yeah,
from
it's
Eastleigh.
literally around the
Yeah.
corner.
It's literally across the road from
Yeah.
Eastleigh Football Club. But yeah, so that's on May the 12th, 4:30 kickoff. So if you can get down there and support the girls in
It's
their first
also
cup
very
final.
close to Southampton Parkway, like the airport station. if you're looking to go by train, which you can go straight from Farnborough to. So.
Decent.
There's the one of us who doesn't drive. There you go.
Yeah.
There's also not many seats there either. So if you do want a seat, get there early.
Yeah.
Get there early. Yeah. But right. But thanks a lot, guys, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you and obviously getting to know you guys over the season as well.
No, it's been awesome. Thanks, guys, for
I
supporting
can only reiterate that, to be fair, because it's really I enjoy the insight into a manager's life and the mind of a manager and what sort of things you guys have to consider, not only during training or during the week before match days and actually during the games, because obviously as fans you don't tend to appreciate what goes on and what sort of the things that are going on behind the scenes. They just see what's going on with 11 people on the pitch. So it's a good insight for people to understand what goes into it. So thanks very much for sharing it with us.
So if anyone's thinking of becoming a manager, don't do it.
Yeah, I can second that. Yeah.
Be an assistant. It's easier.
Yeah, I can second that one as well.
I'll completely agree with everything those two have said. I mean, I think it's almost completely undeniable the job you've done this year, the position the club's in this first season with a women's team at all. It's been fantastic. It's been a joy to follow, and it's been a pleasure to speak to you tonight.
No, cheers. Thank you. No, it's much appreciated.
No, thank you.
Right, so that leaves me to say good night. Simon, Tom, say good night.
Good night, guys.
See you later. Have a good one. Speak to you soon.
And don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and and follow us on all the socials. And we will see you all in the next podcast.